Hey guys, welcome to The Market is Open. Check out our website, themarketisopen.com. Tesla's first quarter conference call is going to be tomorrow by the time this video is uploaded. And so I thought we'd contribute a couple questions that should be asked on the conference call that would cover a wide range of Tesla products. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would really appreciate your support in helping us grow our channel. And you could also check the description below for some of our cool t-shirts. I know that the analysts are very focused purely on financial questions. That's why Elon Musk said that they had boneheaded questions. They're normally asking, what are the margins? What will the margins be in the next quarter? How will the margins increase and so forth? How come Tesla's not profitable? So Tesla said today that they're going to be cash flow neutral, and I'm sure the analysts didn't like that very much. At the same time, this is still a conference call, so the questions should be about the business and still be relevant to investors. Not just like, how come my car isn't working? Why didn't my car merge lanes for me? Like, those questions are for a different event, sort of like today's Autonomy Day event, for example. So I have a couple questions to contribute, but first let's look at some of the questions that other people have asked on Say. Okay, so here are some of the questions that others have asked on this website, Say, which takes questions for Tesla's conference call. So first of all, there's 359 retail shareholders. They're worth $33 million. That's actually quite a bit of money. That's your average retailer seems to be holding like 100 or let's say $90,000 worth of shareholders. So these are pretty rich retail investors, or at least there's a couple people that are bringing up the average. There's also a couple institutional questions over here, actually mainly from ARK Invest. They're one of the most bullish people on Tesla with a $4,000 price range. Though I won't go over these questions. I didn't think they were that interesting. Okay, so the first question, will Tesla be able to complete their purchase of Maxwell? That's interesting because the Maxwell acquisition was delayed by a little bit. So I think there's a lot of uncertainty there and investors want to know more. So yeah, that is a good question for the conference call. There was also a question on Tesla's customer service. Elon Musk has said that he's going to be focusing primarily on improving the customer service. So I think investors are looking for at least some metrics on how that has been improving and how that's come along. Now there's this question here on the energy side of the company. I mean, it's a good question for investors. However, I think Tesla has already laid out their plan for the energy side of the business. They're planning for 2 gigawatts for the year, and internally Elon said they're aiming for 3 gigawatts. And they even said that there's going to be a single project today. They said that's going to be 1 gigawatt. So that's pretty much half of the year's production in a single project, according to what was said today. Can we expect the pace of pricing changes to continue? Can you elaborate on the price hike trajectory? So I think, I mean, Tesla has been cutting prices drastically for the Model 3 and for its other cars as it tries to bring down costs and make it more affordable for people. However, he did say, Elon Musk, that the full self-driving option will be going up likely by a couple $1,000s starting May 1st and into the future as they continue to add more features. So I think we sort of already have our answer to that question, and the price changes are going to continue. When and where will the Tesla Semi begin production? I don't care really where, I want to know when. And we do have a couple follow-up questions that I'll ask. I'll show you guys later on in the video related to this. When do you expect the production to meet demand? I don't think Tesla even knows how much demand they have. Is Tesla considering creating an insurance program? It's a good idea. I think that's a decent question. It's more for owners, that question. He says the insurance market is very unreliable for Tesla owners. I think the insurance market is very unreliable for everyone. I was recently looking for insurance, and the price ranged from X, whatever I paid, and double that. So like there was a gigantic range. Like let's say I paid $1,000 a year. There were some people offering me $2,000 a year. So it's like, obviously, why would I do that? So I think that might be true for everyone unless it's extreme for Tesla owners. I think it's a good idea to ask the question to see if Tesla is going to be doing something with that. However, like, is it important for investors? Will investors be able to make money off of this? Do you have an updated timeline for Tesla pickup? He says later this year. Elon, if you were to ask Andre, well, I mean, you could just ask him directly. Full self-driving, they expect feature complete this year, and they're saying full self-driving next year. I'm sure they'll be late, but that's what they said. So I think we already have the answer to that question. Will Tesla be profitable? If they're cash flow neutral, it does not sound like they're going to be profitable in Q2 and Q3. Progress on lobbying. I don't think Tesla's going to comment on that. Any updates on the Roadster? Yeah, that'd be nice to know. Guidance around Model Y, that doesn't matter. Any plans for the 8-track unit, such as, I guess, using the Super Bottle, for example, inside the home? I don't think Tesla would be ready to talk about this. They have a lot on their plate right now. I wouldn't ask this question because it's sort of going to give competitors an edge to start working on this. Like if you're a Tesla shareholder and you don't want competitors to catch up. So I would sort of wait for a future conference call with this question. You could assume that Tesla is looking at this, but they're preoccupied with some other stuff currently. How many V3 superchargers? It doesn't matter. Are there any plans for monthly or yearly payment option? That's more of an owner type question. But it's a good question actually for owners. I'm sure owners want to know because the FSD is going to start getting very expensive according to what we've seen. So it would be nice to know if owners will be able to pay this over time. Everyone agrees that the advertising after fuel savings is deceptive marketing, kind of, but at least the tax credits are not deceptive marketing. That's real money in your pocket. The fuel savings thing, like that's comparing gas cars. I mean, yeah, I agree it is a bit deceptive, but it is just so people will see how much money you're saving on electric versus gas. And Tesla's trying to find a way to compare that. So I think offering a better way of showing this might be a good way to get them to change it. How do you plan to improve Model X? And yes, this is a good question. Investors are definitely want to know. The demand for Model S and X has dropped off significantly in Q1. They produced like 14,000 cars and they normally produce around 25,000. So like what's going on with these? I also think a lot of people were hoping for a refresh, something that Tesla says they don't do. However, it seems like Tesla might do one because of so much pressure and the demand is low. So we'll see. This is a great question to ask. I'm surprised that it should be voted higher, even though it's probably not that exciting, but it is important for investors. Actually, I'm sure the analysts will ask about that. I've been a large shareholder for the last 3 years, and it's been frustrating to see my shares decrease. What will be the catalyst that destroys the shorts this year? That's pretty funny. I think, yeah, it's frustrating to see your shares go down. However, I think it's important to be patient with this type of company. Tesla is going to be spending a lot of money this year and next year to try and have a brighter future. So I think the catalyst might not occur this year. There's plenty of catalysts. There's a ton of new products and new features and new services that Tesla is offering. I'm not sure if a single one of them will send the stock higher, but I think collectively they're going to be one of the best positioned companies in the industry for the next 10, 20 years, for example, because of the investments they're making today. So I think that is a company that you do want to own for the long term. Okay, and now I wanted to ask a couple of my own questions. I just sort of wanted to sort of add these into the Say platform, but here goes. So Elon Musk said that the Tesla production line should be able to achieve, I guess, like walking speed. Like he said, it should be faster than your granny speed, like granny walking. So my question is, when will we see that? Like, do any of the parts of the factory currently require strobe lights to be seen? That is something that Elon said should happen in the future. I know sometimes he says something and it doesn't happen and people sort of write it off, but he's sort of still planning on making it happen. And the timing is off, but it usually eventually does seem to happen. So I'd be interested to know when we will see something that's strobe light speed in the production process, because it's moving so fast and you need a strobe light to see it. Now, in a previous conference call, Elon Musk was saying that it would take a small capital expenditure to go from 5K Model 3s per week to 7K per week. He also said it would be a little bit more of a capital expense in order to get to 10,000 per week. So my question is, will we see that from the current Gigafactory, or is it not worth it to invest in order to get it to 7K per week? Or is it currently at 7K per week and we're just not seeing it because of like the days off that the factory is taking to do upgrades? And I'm not talking about Tesla Giga, which combined with the rest of the company, I think Tesla expects the run rate to be about 10,000 per week, including Model S and X, and probably part of China Giga just starting to ramp up potentially by the end of the year. So I'm just wondering about the current Gigafactory alone, if it's worth it to improve that. So Sandy Munro recently talked in a podcast about wireless chips and antennas being found at the board level in the Model 3. It seems that wireless communication would allow Tesla to reduce like the wiring in the car from about 1.5 to 1.8 kilometers, which is for the Model 3, down to around 100 meters. And that's something that Elon has said in the past. So will we see this in the Model Y? And given that the cars, the Model 3 and the Model Y, are likely, it seems that they're going to be on the same platform, will we see this on future Model 3s as well? It seems like they have both the wireless sensors and the wires currently in the Model 3, and I'm assuming at a certain point when they're confident with the wireless, they're going to take away the wires, which will cut costs, it'll cut weight, and I think that'll be a pretty big game changer for cutting the cost of the overall price of the car. So I think that is very important for investors. I also had like a follow-up question, which would be about the 12-volt battery. Using 12 volts in the car is something that Elon Musk has said is completely wrong, and it doesn't make any sense. So will Tesla be doing away with the 12-volt system? Have they already done that? And will we see those changes in the Model Y and the Model 3? And also sort of a follow-up to that, like if the answer was no to any of those previous questions, will we see the less wiring and different voltages and other features in the Tesla pickup platform? And I'm assuming the Tesla pickup will be on a different platform, like it's a different size car and everything like that. So will that platform be sort of like what Elon Musk has been talking about? And will the Tesla pickup be on the same platform as the Tesla semi truck? According to some of the images that they previously showed about the pickup, they were building the pickup off of the semi's platform. So I'm wondering if those two will be on the same platform. And because it's a brand new platform, will it have new innovations that we've really never seen before for a car that'll help cut costs, improve efficiencies, etc. So this one, I guess, is kind of a follow-up for one of the questions that were on the Say platform. But I was wondering, once the Maxwell acquisition goes through, I'm assuming they expect that it will go through, as like the question on Say had said, how long after should we expect to see an integration of these technologies into Tesla vehicles? I mean, that might be a little bit early to ask this question. I guess a follow-up question would be, is Elon Musk excited about their ultracapacitor technology, given his background with ultracapacitors? And does he see an application for these inside the Tesla vehicles? Which are probably using capacitors, but I'm wondering if Maxwell's technology is something that he's very much looking forward to in terms of ultracapacitors. What percentage of the car components are going to be manufactured or are currently manufactured in-house? How has the manufacturing process been simplified with regards to third-party manufacturers that Tesla has relied on? Usually they have a whole bunch of problems with third parties. Elon has always said that the car manufacturing process is as slow as the slowest supplier. So I'm wondering if they've managed to bring a lot of that in-house and how much more improvement there is there in order to bring more stuff in-house. It sounds like Samsung is going to be making the new Tesla hardware 3 chip, which is pretty exciting. And like Samsung, you're not going to have any problems with Samsung being able to deliver on time. They're definitely a great company at manufacturing chips in bulk and on time. According to Sandy Munro, I believe it was about 95% in-house. Like, will that improve with the China Gigafactory? And the reason why I ask is because Munro again says that vertical integration is key for cutting costs, and I agree with that. Assuming that Tesla can actually produce a component for cheaper than purchasing it and has the right technology in order to do that, and licensing, for example. I would also like to know how the new 5G chips are going to be affecting Tesla in the next couple of years as 5G starts to ramp up, and what benefits we might see, or will it just improve current things such as bandwidth for Tesla, or will there be some sort of new innovation that Tesla might be thinking about? I'm sure they won't give any specifics as to future products, but we'd probably like some more clarity on how 5G will improve their data collection, for example, because 5G definitely has a lot of promises for the automotive industry. Now, furthermore, I was just wondering if Tesla and SpaceX continue to collaborate, and it would be nice to know a recent example for this collaboration. I think the last example was something where SpaceX technology was able to help Tesla see through cars and basically save Tesla 8 hours per car with a problem that they had. So I think the reason why I asked this question is because it would be hard for any auto company competitor to match SpaceX technology as well. I mean, they already have enough problems trying to keep up with Tesla, which they can't do. but adding in SpaceX as well is definitely going to give Tesla a big advantage. So I think collaboration between the two companies is pretty important. And I would also ask this because I think since the pace of innovation is one of Tesla's greatest moats, as Elon has said, like what is one small problem, for example, in the factory or for designing the new chip, that Tesla had to overcome with a new innovation, like a tiny problem, no matter how small it is, just because I think investors can be like, okay, Volkswagen could just go and copy this chip that Tesla made, no problem. But like they don't realize that that's sort of just like the big idea. But down when you're sort of have your boots on the ground, people don't normally think of all the little small issues and problems that the company like Tesla had to overcome in order to get there. And they're just showing us right now the final product, but it took them 3 years, for example, to make the custom chip. So there were probably a lot of hurdles along the way. So I think a company trying to copy them would run into those hurdles as well. So it'll be cool to see if there was a small innovation that wouldn't really give anything away to competitors, but something that was interesting that Tesla had to overcome in order to get to where they are today. All right, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would really appreciate your support in helping us grow our channel. And don't forget to smash that like button.